All right, and we're live. Just wait a second. I will check on YouTube if we are on air already because it's going to take a while before
Okay.
our dear friends will notice us. Ayan. I think we're on live already. It has notified already.
Oh
As
yeah,
what we
yeah.
always say on our YouTube channel, pageantry, sash, and crown, name it all. This is your pageant dapper, Dr. Zed. And welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hello, hello, everyone, and welcome, mga ka-Team Vampire. It's been a week, I think. I was so busy last week. I was in Baguio City, as you all know, if you've checked on my Instagram. So I was on a training for environmental sanitation as part of my work at the City Health Office. Of course, I need to update myself with the newest things and happenings about environmental and sanitation, handling of food, etc., and all of that. But today, we have a very, very beautiful discussion and topic. And of course, I have a very, very beautiful person, human being with me, gracing our small YouTube channel. Everyone, please allow me in welcoming an up and upcoming pageant vlogger all the way from the US of A. Please welcome VJ Reina. Hi VJ.
Hi, thank you for
Magandang
having me.
gabi. Magandang gabi sa'yo.
Magandang gabi. Magandang gabi or magandang umaga dito.
Which state are you right now?
I'm live in Texas, but I'm currently visiting my tito here in California. So I'm in the nice, beautiful state of California right now.
Wow. Okay. I will see you by next year. That's my goal to visit the US.
Oh yeah, come, come.
Yeah, we shall be having a collaboration live.
Yes, that would be
Yeah,
nice.
that's for sure. It will be very, very much fun. Okay, so VJ here is actually new to the vlogging industry and business, but I've been seeing all of his commentaries, and he loves his Philippine pageantry. That's the reason why I invited him, because he was able to follow through, especially our Miss Universe Philippines queens. And tonight is a very exciting night because we will be tackling on how the 2025 queens from the Philippines will do in terms of their pageant journey. Of course, we're talking about our 2025 queens. We have on our thumbnail, we have Mira Esguerra, who is set to compete in Tokyo in November of 2025 for Miss International. We also have Tarah Valencia, who's set to compete in June to July for Miss Supranational happening in Poland. We also have Eco International, that's usually it's being held in Egypt, and I'm not sure, but I think that's gonna be early, like May to June
Mhm.
for Alexi Brooks. And who else are we expecting pa? Are we expecting more? Uh,
I think that's the main. We had Alexi Brooks.
of course, Krishna Gravidez
Gravidez, yes,
for
Miss World.
2025. Of course, we are waiting for that Alpha pageant, Miss World, happening in Paris, France. How I wish we could fly to Paris on February.
Yeah.
And we know that Krishna is one of the great competitors for this
Mhm.
batch of Miss World, and I'm sure that she's gonna be giving a good fight for the Philippines for
Yeah.
the elusive blue crown. Okay, so please don't forget to like this video if you're new to this YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe to Dr. Z underscore pageant dapper. Later on, we will ask VJ to promote his YouTube page and where else we can follow him, so you guys can talk with each other when it comes to pageantry. Ayan. Okay. Sige. I would like to take this opportunity muna to greet some of my friends, I think, who are on live. Yeah, Engineer Cons is watching. Good evening for my friend all the way from Baguio City. Yes, Ma'am Fen and Reese also are dear friends who's watching with us. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. And very fun to share lang. I just celebrated the World AIDS Day today.
Uh,
Yeah, I came from a very huge event kanina, and I was with Jasmine Bungay. She is Binibining Pilipinas Globe and
mhm.
the Miss Globe second runner up 2024. I
Yeah.
was also with Sofia Bianca Santos, Miss Universal Woman, and of course our dear friends Bench Ortiz, who is Mr. Gay World Philippines and Mr. Gay World first runner up. And I was with Ayan Santos. Ayan Santos is Mr. Filipinas first runner up. Ayan. So I was with Beauty Queens, Kings and Queens a while ago. Ayan. And of course, let's go first with the Binibining Pilipinas Queen. Let's talk about first Mira Esguerra. VJ, what can you say about Myrna winning Miss International Philippines or Binibining Pilipinas International?
Well, I really love her personally. I think she's really, really beautiful. I love that Being Filipinos is really about like the queens. They're not looking too much necessarily about what pageant they're going to send them, but they're really fair in the sense that they allow the queens to shine and then they pick their winners based on performance of that competition at that time. So with her, I just really feel like she's overall a spectacular queen. And when I look back at her performance, I was just watching it this morning. You can send her to like a host of different beauty pageants. You can really see, I could see her at Supra, I could see her at MGI. I could see her at Miss Universe. She's really versatile, and she's probably one of my new upcoming like favorite queens from the Philippines or just in general. Um, I don't know. I'm a very big fan of her beauty as well. I don't usually focus too much on the physical aspects because, that's just one small minor thing amongst many. Yes, and she's just, I mean, look at her. She's just beautiful. She's very gorgeous. And she's very intelligent too. Like when she speaks, she thinks through her answers, and it's very well thought through. So I really love this queen. And regardless of what happens at Miss International, I know we just had our audition for this year, so she has some time to prepare. But I can see her at like I said, any different international system, whether it's international, whether it's MGI, Supra, Miss Universe. She's just a very well-rounded queen.
I have to agree. I have to agree with your statement on saying that Myrna is actually a well-rounded queen. You
Hmm.
know, funny thing about her, she hails from this place in Angeles City where I'm
Okay.
situated.
Hmm.
Although I'm not sure if the rumors are true, but every time she would represent Angeles City, she ends up as runner up. So
Oh.
when she competed at Abra, which she represented in Binibining Pilipinas, which was her mom's hometown, she
Hmm.
eventually won the title of Binibining Abra. And then she pursued in Binibining Pilipinas and eventually represented Abra and took home the international crown. Um, there are a lot of speculations because, of course, we know how Angelica Lopez ended in Miss
Yeah.
International. She
Hmm.
ended up, unfortunately, they posted a very controversial
Yeah,
post of the Miss
yeah,
International where we saw Angelica Lopez at the 21st
yeah,
spot.
yeah,
You know, I mean, almost making it. I honestly know the reason why they had to post it
mhm,
to make the Filipinos feel bad about like almost wasn't good enough for her.
yeah,
But the bad thing that's happening in Binibining Pilipinas right now is that just because there are only two crowns, the girl who performs the best usually takes home the biggest crown, which is Miss International or the Binibining Pilipinas
mhm,
International. And it's not like the days before wherein girls are being shuffled into which pageant prototype they
yeah,
actually would fit in, right?
yeah,
So I have to agree with you that I think we don't have much problem with Mirna Esguerra because the girl can she's an all-rounder girl, you know.
yeah,
Yeah. And a funny thing about this was I messaged her brother before when she was still competing for Binibining Pilipinas because I was not a media pageant media accredited for Binibining Pilipinas to interview them, but I was already messaging Mirna. So I
mhm,
messaged the brother. Of course I don't want to, you know, distract Mirna during the competition. But I
sure.
told the brother that if Mirna will not win in Binibining Pilipinas, send her to Miss Universe because
Yes,
for sure, she can
yes.
really pull off a big
Oh, yeah,
surprise for Miss Universe Philippines with the kind of performance she showed during Binibining
yeah,
Pilipinas. Truly, I'm sure that she can ace whichever pageant she would pursue. And what I like about her also, the day or a few days after Angelica Lopez not placing in Miss International, she posted this video. Did you see this video?
no, I actually did not see this video.
Okay, because, VJ, they've been telling that. um, Angelica is not the international prototype.
Right, right.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they usually, in the Philippines, they usually use the term binabad sa downy. You know downy? It's a fabric softener
Oh,
for,
uh-huh.
for clothes, for
Mhm.
clothing, right?
Yeah.
So they wanted the girls, the prototype of Miss International, to look like as if they are so soft, so demure, so feminine,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Very far from Miss Grand
Very
International or the
far. Yeah.
fierceness of Miss Universe. So what I like about Myrna is she's listening to the fans. So a few
Yeah.
days after she posted this as if she was para siyang binabad sa downy. It's as if um
Yeah, that's
she was washed
definitely
with downy. This is a different version of Myrna
it's definitely a
Esguerra.
different version of her that I haven't seen yet. So it
Yeah.
is very international. It does fit Miss International very, very much.
Very, very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I like
I say she's well rounded. I think that I could see her at Super, I could see her at Charm, I could see her at Cosmo, I can see her at Universe, I can see her at MGI. But then I will say, out of all the pageant systems, maybe Miss International wouldn't be, like you say, the one that I would have necessarily seen her at, not because she's not of caliber, but because Miss International to me sometimes can be very out of all the pageant systems, very stringent and very particular on what they want. I would say when it comes to universe or grand or whatever, sometimes we can see variations or surprises, but Miss International doesn't always lend itself to being as open with contestants that don't fit a certain prototype. So I think the fact that she's listening to fans, it's easy. I would imagine. I don't, I'm not her or in her mind or in her head, but and it's easy to just say, not take it constructively and take it very personally, like criticisms or, commentary from fans. So it's good that she's taking it constructively and trying to, fit the pageant that she's in. Because when you're a beauty queen, you're going to a certain pageant system. It's like a job, right? When you take up a job, you're not you're not stripping yourself away of everything that makes you you, but you do mold yourself a little bit to fit the job. Like I'm sure there's a different version of you as a physician, right? When you're out
yeah.
there with patients, when you're here as a pageant analyst talking about pageantry, maybe there's more of a relaxed demeanor to you. So same with Miss International, when these girls go to these competitions, they have to kind of fit in a certain mold. And particularly with Miss International, unfortunately, I think it's a little bit harder to get away with not fitting a certain mold. They have sometimes deviated in the past. But what I like about her is that she's a very Pinay beauty, to be honest. Like when I look at her instantly, I know she's Filipina, and I think that's my favorite thing about her. Same with Angelica Lopez, actually. I liked her since her Miss Universe Philippines days. And although I thought maybe she would go for Miss Grand, like a lot of people did, I was happy to see her at Miss International. And not only that, but when she was up there on stage, she spoke her truth and spoke her story, how people try to fit her into a shoebox and tell that she's not fit for international. So despite the placement not happening for her, I still feel like she represented the Philippines phenomenally. And I think that will happen with Myra as well. I think she'll do a really great job, and she's a Filipina beauty, which I love about her.
Oh, thank you very much for appreciating. I actually want to emphasize about Angelica Lopez. Like, we should not deprive Angelica for her success
Hmm.
for representing the Philippines internationally. I mean, if it were me, I would be very, very much proud of myself to have represented the Philippines, across my chest in the international stage. And I have to agree with you. I like it that Angelica opened herself during the mini Q&A during the preliminaries, and she did mention how she was bashed for being, for not fitting the typical prototype, and she's just being herself, which I'm just so proud of her for doing that all throughout the entire pageant.
Yeah,
And if there's something that she could have, I don't think she could have changed anything during the entire duration because I think she enjoyed it.
she had a
She
good
enjoyed it. She enjoyed it and she had a good time. But yeah, going back to the typical prototype of Miss International, I do agree. Sometimes they bend the typical winners, but
time.
when it comes to Asian beauties, I don't really know, but it's always the same look.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can remember the time of Patch Magtanong, the one who beat
Uh-huh.
Patch from, was it from Thailand or Indonesia?
That
The one
year,
with the one with the long term was during Patch time. It was from Thailand, I think. The one with the longest term.
I don't remember because batch was. which she was 2019.
2019.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, and that time, if I could recall it, that queen from Thailand exactly looks like the queen from Vietnam who won this year. As
Yeah.
in,
Mm.
same hairstyle, same face and physique, always the same. So I was thinking maybe, yeah, most of the time, if not majority of the time, they are really looking for that kind of typical Barbie type of look for Miss International. But let's see, with the kind of ability that Myrna can perform, she's really a performer on stage.
Yes, she is.
She's also very tall
And
and
very
stylish
intelligent, very well
and very
spoken.
intelligent. I think that the Japanese people will like her also. Yeah. So let's read on a comment here from Aladdin 1838. Myrna face, prototype body, prototype ng Miss International. Tone down lang yung pasarela. I have to agree because the pasarela of Myrna is somewhat kind of like Miss Grand, right?
Yeah, yeah, it
Mm.
is very Miss Grand like, but you know, it's harder to add, it's easier to take away. That's what I, at least my in my feelings, you can take away a spin turn or two, or you can take away a little bit of the, you know, the aura, like the very fiery vibe, but sometimes it's harder for girls to add that in. So I think, you know, it'll be easy for her to kind of pull back. There's so much time between now and the next competition that she has plenty of time to kind of recalibrate and you know tweak the things that she needs to tweak.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. And then it says here, Japanese mahilig sa mga Barbie look. Mahinhin is conservative, breaking stereotypes, not their cup of tea. And then yeah, let's not discredit Angelica's performance. She did great, but wrong pageant. As Aladdin 1830 says. Do you think VJ it's an advantage or a disadvantage for a girl to compete a year after? Like the ones being like now it happened in Binibini Pilipinas just because during the COVID they had two queens and the other one was about to be sent for Miss International although COVID happened. So do you think it's a disadvantage for a queen to wait that long or it's gonna be an advantage because she will have more time to prepare?
I think it really depends on what the queen does with the time. I think there is such thing as like over preparing. I know it's a different pageant system and a different contestant, but if we look at, for example, like Rabia Mateo, she had a very long time at Miss Universe Philippines, maybe too long of a time as Miss Universe Philippines, and I think
Yeah,
during that time she over prepared.
yeah.
So I think you know you have to keep a certain, again, a certain amount of yourself and your core throughout your training. I think the advantage is with Miss International, at least, is that, like we kind of mentioned, they don't veer too far off of what they know. So you really can study the pageant well. And like you said, the Downey comment that you mentioned in the
Yeah.
Philippines,
Now
I,
you know. Now you know the
now
Downey
I
comment.
know, now I know. I feel like she's already kind of this early on listening to that and trying to lend herself for that. So I think for Miss International, if anything, it can be an advantage specifically for this pageant system because you can really take the time to study and really get to know the pageant itself. And again, they don't veer very often from what they know. So it's a pretty easy pageant to study, not to win, but to study at least and kind of figure out how to go about it.
Mm-mm. I have to agree with what VJ said. You know, Miss International. I have a friend, Frederick Lobaton. I kept on mentioning him here on my YouTube channel. He is a national director from Germany for Miss Asia Pacific International.
Right.
He just recently watched the pageant of Miss International during the time that Miss Vietnam, Angelica Lopez time. No, so when he went there, he did mention to me that Miss International is a pageant. He is a pageant veteran. As
Mhm.
in, his sister was Binibini Pilipinas 1998 Universe
Wow.
Jewel Mish Lobaton. So
Wow.
he knows what's going inside a pageant
Mhm.
system, and they can really identify who's gonna win or not. But
Yeah.
he told me he did tell me during his experience that Miss International was a different type of pageant. Like until the very last minute before they announce, you really have no idea who's gonna win. I
Yeah.
think you. also had that feeling, right?
Yeah, it's a very unpredictable. There's a few pageants
Yeah,
like that, but international is one of those pageants that I don't cover very much, honestly, because
I
I'm like, I
know,
have
I
no
know.
idea what is going to happen when the competition
Yeah.
comes in. Like, I also have very different personal likings to what Miss International typically lends itself to. So I have no idea how to like figure the pageant system out. Um, but with that being said, I still do think that we know what, at least at this point, the standard for them is.
Standard,
So
yes.
you can at least try your best to like fit that mold.
Yeah, yeah, and I have to agree. You can study. You can study the pageant. That's going to be an advantage for you to prepare for about a year. And but to win is actually mostly, I think, a matter of luck also and hard work for the girl before
Yeah,
clinching the Miss International crown. I have to commend the as we speak right now. I have to commend so many Filipinas. I think we have six Miss International crowns.
yeah,
We've been doing so well in Miss International, so I have to
yeah,
commend these ladies for clinching that crown
yeah,
for the Philippines because it's very difficult. I mean, that kind of pageant,
yeah. I
very
don't think
hard
India
to
has a single one.
predict.
I don't think we
Yeah.
have a single one from India. So like,
Really? None from
I
India
don't
yet.
think for international, no, no, not yet. So we're gonna have to send our queens to the Philippines and figure out what
Really? Guys,
they're
can
doing.
you please search if there's a winner? So none yet from India?
I don't think so. You know, the thing is also like
Always Miss World for India kasi, di
we're
ba?
Miss World. We're good at Miss World. I think Miss World's a lot more speaking, and our queens typically lend well to speaking. So
Have to
East Miss
agree.
World is pretty easy for us, I guess you could say. But Miss International, we just cannot get their badges system down. But the Philippines has done a phenomenal job. I mean, 6 crowns,
Yeah, yeah.
especially for a competition like Miss International, is quite a lot. It's quite impressive.
True, true, true. Ayan. Hello, Mars Ramos is here. He says, who is our guest? Alright. Good evening, Doc Z and VJ. Happy late at night. Hi, Titus JR underscore Paolo. Thank you, guys. Again, if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe to Dr. Z, the pageant dapper. And you may like this video if you love me and VJ, and if you love our topic, please comment down in the comment section. To our team replay friends, don't forget to leave a comment down on the comment section so we have something to talk about even after this live. Okay. What else? I wanted to speak more about Miss International and Mira Esguerra. I just wish that the Filipinos would try to, tone down their comments on Mirna. Because, VJ, they're also trying to tell Mirna to take glutathione so that she'll be whiter and she'll
Oh,
shy away from the typical Morena Filipina beauty because that's what the pageant is looking for. That's what they're telling me, or that that's what I've been reading in the comment section. But I have to remind everyone, guys, let's try to um keep those comments away from Mirna, and let's not put those comments because I think it's not really gonna help the girl. Let's not change the girl for who she is initially before she started in the competition. We still want the authentic self of the girl. I mean, Precious Lara Kigaman, who won
yeah,
Miss International back in 2005, is a Pinay beauty.
yeah, yeah.
Very beautiful. I've seen her in person, and I don't think Mirna needs to change anything when it comes to her color and her skin tone. She's very beautiful as a Filipina of who she is right now. Ayan.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I definitely.
Diba? Let's not try to change the girl for who they are just because of the pageant is looking for that typical winner. And I have to agree, let's not discredit Angelica Lopez. And I'm telling you that I'm so proud of her because she
Mhm.
represented her authentic self in the pageant, right?
And actually, I'll say this, like here in the US and internationally, standards of beauty are different everywhere. At least in America, Pinot beauty is very celebrated. Like, it's a very,
Yeah.
so it's like maybe, I know coming from like my family's Indian, so I can't speak to like Filipinos, but with Indians, I think, without getting too deep, like post colonization leaves scars within colorism and all these other topics. And we tend to not see who we are and our people as beautiful anymore. But, the fact of the matter is that when I looked at Angelica Lopez, she stood out for me all the way from Miss Universe Philippines. So when she went to Bini Bini and she won Miss International, yes, I know that the standard and the stereotype for Miss International may not be exactly what Angela presented, but doesn't mean what Angelica presented was anything less than beautiful, very
True.
prideful. And I wasn't even Filipino, and I was proud to see her up on that stage. And the placement didn't change what she brought to Miss International, which is diversity, authenticity, and I think that is something that Filipinos should really be proud of when it comes to Angelica, because you can't discredit what she represented at the stage, whether or not she made a placement. Like, she will be remembered for being her most authentic self, no matter what.
Mm-mm, true, true, true. Yeah. Okay. So we have a comment here. Placement of India in Miss International is first runner-up in 2003. Thank you very much for that. For searching Paula Sugar, we have a guest Paula Sugar's name here. Binibini Basha Doc Z. Yeah. VJ is our friend. He's half Indian, and he's a mix of Italian and American side, and he's currently in the US of A. Okay. What's our fearless forecast for Mira Esguerra in the competition? As early as now, VJ, what do you
Oh,
think can Mira um like highest placement, or how far could she go in the competition?
I mean, she could go as far as the crown, but
Yeah.
in terms of like where she's one of my personal favorites. I
Yeah.
mean, we're very early on. But if we're talking about what we know about Miss International, only time will tell. I think, again, we're seeing her make moves and advancements towards trying to be more downy, I guess you I don't know how to use it really.
Now you're gonna use the downy.
But,
Uh,
she continues to still be herself, right? But, try to fit a little bit of that mold. I don't see any reason why she can't snatch a 7th crown for the Philippines.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
very big statement. But I have to agree. I have high hopes with Mirna Esguerra. I think she is, she's coming from the land where I was born. So I think she's a fighter, and she can fit the mold. I'm sure she'll be very prepared for next year's competition. Fearless forecast, she can bring home the seventh crown for the Philippines, if not at least in the top four placements,
yeah,
or the court of Miss International. I'm quite sure about that. Knowing her credentials, her physique, and how she overpowered 39 more other women in Binibining Pilipinas with so many beautiful girls during her time,
yeah.
right? I think Mirna can go
Can go
far.
anywhere. I mean, no matter what the result is at Miss International, this girl can go to
Yeah,
so many different pageant systems.
true,
She's so
true,
well-rounded. So,
true,
I
true.
mean, her career is gonna be long and it's gonna be successful. So,
True. I have to agree. Yeah, Mirna is actually. I'm following her. We're following each other on Instagram. I am gonna tag her here. I'm sure she'll be very happy to hear our comments about her. So yeah, we wish her luck
yes.
for 2025, and I promise to watch in Tokyo in November. Let's go. Let's
Oh,
watch for Mirna.
yes.
I'm
Yes.
sure she's gonna be bringing out her guns for
Yeah.
that competition. Okay, let's move on to the next girl. Let's go to the most elusive crown for the Philippines, which is Miss World. And it's
Yes.
happening in February. We have our very own, of course, the controversial queen who resigned from Miss Charm Philippines.
Mhm.
And right now, are the delegates for Miss Charm already starting to depart or arrive
They're
in
doing it in
Vietnam?
December, right? They finalized the date next
Yeah.
month, and well, I guess now this month in December. I don't know if they're departing yet. Miss Charm was very MIA for a while, so
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to keep up with. But yeah, I know they're finally going, or they're starting.
Finally, just before the year ends, Miss
Yeah,
Charm is going to take place with so many attempts
yeah,
to pursue that pageant. Finally, after a heartfelt decision of Krishna to resign, which is not usual for Philippine queens to resign actually.
yeah,
But eventually, we have Krishna Gravidez, who bested other candidates and won Miss World Philippines crown early this year. I think it was July. I watched it live there, and
mm,
I knew that she's gonna take home the crown for Miss World Philippines.
yeah.
So, what can you say about Krishna? How far do you think she can go in the competition?
So I didn't. First of all, I did not think she was gonna go to Miss World. I
Sorry,
didn't.
sorry, what did you say?
I did not think she was gonna go to Miss World originally when she was Miss Charm.
Yeah, yeah.
She was also one of my favorites at Miss Universe Philippines. Her and CJ Obiasa were like two of my favorites. I mean,
I know, I know.
so beautiful. Like I know I'm gonna keep saying this, but Krishna Gravidez is like one of those beauties that you're just how can you not see her and just kind of be like mesmerized? She's just so pretty, like geez.
Yeah.
And everything about her, from like her personality to her physical appearance, just exudes like beauty. I think she's done a really, really good job. I will be honest, and I'll say this much. When she first went for Miss World, I was a little bit, oh, okay, I didn't necessarily see that for her. I thought maybe she would lend well to Universe, or she would lend well to Supra, or would lend well to even Miss Grand, to be honest. So initially I was like, okay, I wonder how she'll adjust to the Miss World platform. Because Miss World is very much about advocacy, which she does have. She's had that since Miss Universe Philippines, and is also very much about. I would say it's a lot more pulled back from Miss Universe, right? The queens are a little bit more subtle. They're very your stereotypical what people think a beauty queen is. I would say very speaking heavy. So if the speaking abilities too have to be very strong. And initially, at Miss Universe Philippines, I thought Krishna did really well, but I did think she could use some work when it came to speaking. However, since her crowning at Miss World Philippines, rather, I've seen nothing but strides in her improvement. Like she's just improved so much. She's really lent herself well towards the Miss World platform, and I'm pleasantly surprised at how well she's adjusting to the Miss World organization. So I can see Krishna Gravidez doing really good. Um, Miss World, I feel like it's also a little bit unpredictable at times, but I think nonetheless that she will do well. I don't see a reason why she won't. I think she will. I can see her getting farther than the last few years for the Philippines, at least. I'll say that much. And I think the owner of Miss World, I forget her name. What is her name again? Do you remember the
Julia Morley.
Yeah, I think she definitely had a liking towards Krishna, and I do think Julia has a little bit of a say in who the queen will be, and I think she definitely liked Krishna Gravidez when she saw her, and how could you not? The minute you lay your eyes on her, you're kind of almost in awe and mesmerized.
Yeah, true, true.
Gorgeous, she's gorgeous.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. I have to agree with you. Miss World is also a very hard to predict pageant.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I was totally heartbroken when Catriona Gray in 2016 did
Yes.
clinch the crown. I could remember very, very vividly. I was watching an our dining set with my mom cooking, and I said, "Oh my gosh, ma, we're gonna get the second crown!"
Yeah.
Like in the span of 3 years with Catriona, and I knew she
Mhm,
was gonna get it with her answer and her
mhm,
stance. And there were only 3 girls left. I could remember it was Kenya, and then Puerto Rico, and then the
mhm.
Philippines. And then I was so stunned. One of the biggest shockers for me in the world of pageantry when Catriona Gray was left unplaced in
Yeah.
2016 for Miss World. Then I knew that oh my gosh, Miss World is a hard to predict pageant.
It's very hard to predict.
Right.
It's very I
But
mean,
thankfully it happened for Catriona in 2016 because we wouldn't be able to see
yeah.
the best of Catriona in 2018 for
Oh
Miss
gosh.
Universe.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. I mean,
iconic.
obviously, I would have loved for her to win Miss World, but in retrospect, I'm not saying I'm glad she didn't, but I'm so happy we got to see and witness her at Miss Universe because that performance was just she's my favorite Miss Universe winner, Katrina Gray, so I'm very glad I was able to witness, her at Miss Universe, so
Yeah. She like brought an Armalite in Miss World, but when she competed in Miss Universe, she was with a tank. I'm
yeah.
gonna win this all.
Yeah. She just came to get the crown, to be honest, like,
I
that was
know.
really
I
what it
know.
was.
Yeah, I was so confident with Paulina Vega in 2014, but I was never
Mm,
that super, super
yeah,
confident in
yeah.
2018 that I flew to Thailand because I knew we
Oh,
will get
wow.
the universe crown.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
I was
yeah.
that certain that time around. Yeah. Okay. So with Krishna, I think she's also like, girls like Catriona and even Krishna and even Mira Esguerra, these girls could be well-rounder. I
Yeah,
mean, I don't mind seeing Krishna in universe as well. I think
I
she
don't
can
either.
pull off a big surprise there.
Yeah.
But Yeah, surprisingly, the way you felt, I was also not expecting Krishna to pursue Miss World Philippines.
Yeah,
Everybody was like screaming, "Oh, she's gonna go for Miss Grand Philippines." That's what we were waiting for when she resigned eventually. But yeah, we were so surprised, and I think the stars were aligning on her favor when she got
yeah,
the Miss World Philippines crown. But I also have to agree with you. She was trying to fit in the mold of a typical Miss World, the
mhm,
class, prim and proper.
mhm.
Um, very usually they're very modelist type in Miss World, right?
Yeah, they are very model-esque. Even the current
Yeah.
winner is pretty model-esque, I'd say.
Yeah, the current winner from Czech Republic is
Yeah,
gorgeous, super
yeah,
super gorgeous, and yeah, it's all about heavy speaking in Miss World. That's why I think India has been doing so well. How many
yeah.
Miss World do you have in India?
Oh man, I don't know the exact number, but we have quite a few, and it's really big in India. Actually, in India today, Miss World is still much larger. I'd say it's one of the few countries where Miss World supersedes Miss Universe in terms of like a national, like fan base. So it's still huge feminine Miss India. But yeah, speaking is a huge part. I think Indian queens typically lend well to speaking. So I think that's why we've been able to be so successful. But also again it's very hard to predict, so I really can't say like, oh yeah, like Indian queens are good at speaking, that's why we have so many crowns, because to be fair, there's a lot of queens that are good at speaking, um outside of just India. So I don't really know what it is that lends well to the Miss Universe crown. I don't know. We also have really strong relations with, I guess, Britain, and I think Julia, I think she is British, right? So
Yeah, British, and you guys were colonized by British,
yeah,
right?
so I think maybe there's just a familiarity with that, perhaps. But I won't discredit. I mean, we have Aishwarya Rai, we have Priyanka Chopra, some of the top household names,
I
not
know,
at
I know.
but like in ever. So, um, the awesome of Miss World. Yeah, I think my main concern with Krishna originally was the speaking.
Yes,
I think originally I was like, she's not by any means a weak speaker, but Miss World has very strong speakers, and even like when I think about like our current Miss World India, and I looked at Krishna when she was first crowned, I was like, yeah, like our current Miss World India is a very strong speaker. But I will say Krishna has came miles since her crowning, and every time I see her
true,
speaking engagement, she just is improving and improving and improving. And that's the thing, as someone who has a degree in communications, it's not something that you cannot improve upon. It is definitely an improvable skill. It's something that you can build upon, and with practice and speaking engagement, which she's been doing, I think that it's something that she's been, just gaining and improving in. So I think she has a really good chance. And I think also Miss World again has a little bit of unpredictability that will favor her. I think she does she's a very, as you mentioned, like model-esque. I mean, she's hard not to fall in love with the minute you see her. She's just so pretty. Jeez. I've never seen she's one of the like probably top five like prettiest queens I've seen in a long
true,
time.
true. Have to agree also. Yeah. Yeah, I hope that Krishna is giving more time on her speaking ability. I think that's where she should really focus, especially that the head to head challenge is actually one of the biggest
Yeah.
parts of the competition. There's nothing much that she can do for now when it comes to beauty with a purpose. I think that they should have had prepared that ahead of time, because I think the research team of Miss World knows when if it's real or it's not, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Giving heavy favor on the credentials of the girls with beauty and with the purpose. So I think that Krishna at this point in time, she should not change anything on her face, her physical
No.
beauty.
No.
I've seen her during Miss Grand Philippines when she crowned CJ. She
Yeah.
was part of the crowning. My gosh, her waist was so tiny. It was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
19, super super small.
Yeah.
That's what the time when she followed me and I introduced myself to her. I said like I'm a huge fan and I'm a small YouTube vlogger. She followed me and she said like thank you so much. I know you. She's been hearing about me. So yeah,
Yeah.
I've been messaging her from time to time. So I have to agree with you. I think that Krishna, so far the Philippines hasn't, like, we were in place last time, right?
Mhm.
For with Gwen, Gwen,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
from the previous years. I think top 40 to top 20 we've been making it. I think the highest placements we've had was with Michelle D placing at top 12 in 20, was it 2018 or 2019? I
I
am
think
not
it was.
sure.
I don't think it was it. No, it was 2018. I think. I think she's Catriona's year, right?
Yeah, I think they competed at the same year for Miss Universe and Miss World. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I think that Krishna can give at least a top five finish. I mean, that's my fearless forecast. I have to agree with you. I think Julia also likes Krishna.
She
So
definitely. I think she definitely likes Krishna. I think even the current Miss World liked Krishna.
yeah,
So
so
I think that
I
lends
think
well.
yeah, fearless forecast at least top five. There, it's hard to predict a pageant like Miss World with almost 100 countries competing. So we'll be very happy for Krishna if she reaches top five. I
Yeah.
think she can do that. Yeah. I can. I think she can pull off a Megan Young with top model. Is it top model, right?
Yeah, they have top model, and they also have, like you said, the head-to-head speaking challenges. So yeah.
Yeah. The top model. Okay, Ayan. Thank you very much to our subscribers who are tuned in with us. It's almost midnight. I hope that you guys are enjoying our conversation. We're talking about on how strong our 2025 queens they're gonna be in their upcoming pageants. Of course, Krishna will open up the season next year in February. I'm sure you are all excited for the Miss World pageant happening in 25 in Paris, France. So somebody says here, Miss LD is 2019 and she ended at top 8. Yeah. Thank you very much for that. Okay. Batchmate of Miss Jamaica who won in 2019. All right. Thank you
Oh,
very much for
yeah.
that. Yes, I remember that. Okay. So, yeah, what do you think? Do you also agree with Krishna ending at top 5?
I can see her top 10, top 5 if she can move on with the speaking. I still think I want to see a little bit more speaking engagements from Krishna before I solidify it. But again, it's just so hard to predict. But I don't see anything less than a top. Is it top 10 or top 8? I don't know how it works at Miss World, but
Yeah, it's different from time to time, I think.
yeah. But
Right?
whatever the like one before top 5, I don't see her placing any less than that at minimum.
I
So,
hope that this world this year will try to cut down the hours of the
oh my
competition.
gosh, yeah, yes, please, 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 please. I don't even bother. I'm not even gonna probably do a live stream. I'll do a live stream, but I probably won't do a recorded live reaction because that is going to take forever to
It's
edit.
gonna take forever, really. Yeah, I hope that they could cut it down the way that. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah, let's. I don't know if you agree with me, but MGI was the best pageant of this year,
Oh, I
right?
agree with you. I mean, not just because India won, but because, but also because the production value was so good, and it was a
Okay.
really year.
Yeah, coming from your point of view, this is a segue. Did you think Rachel Gupta can overshadow CJ Opiaza during that time?
Do I think that she outperformed Gigi Piazza, or do you think? Do I mean like from the beginning to the end, like from
Yeah,
the
from the beginning
preliminary?
to the end. Because coming from a Filipino perspective, I knew that Rachel Gupta can really surpass CJ in the finals. I had that feeling because of the like a facial beauty.
So the thing is, CJ Piazza was my bet for Miss Universe Philippines.
Oh, okay.
She was like my literal favorite queen for Miss Universe Philippines more than anyone else, and I fell in love with her during Beanie Beanie when she was Beanie Beanie winning Zambales and she was unplaced. I was super upset. I was like, why, why? I just love
Yeah,
her.
right.
Yeah, she just so. I never forget when she had the performance with like the pink scarf and she ripped it off and she such a good performer.
I
So
know.
Grand, I remember I literally cried when she won Miss Grand Philippines. Like I was so
Oh,
happy for CJ. She actually follows me as
yeah.
well on Instagram. Like
Oh
I
my
just
God.
love
Super
CJ
nice
so much.
queen. Super nice queen.
Yeah. And so obviously being Indian, I don't have a relationship with Rachel Gupta beyond just this stint at Miss Grand when she came on as Miss Grand India. But as an Indian, obviously sentimentally, I love Rachel for representing India. And she's from my exact region of India, Punjab. So
Oh,
Punjabi, and we're both the same religion and everything. So I have a very like Karnaz as well, a very big cultural connection. But CJ is like my sentimental favorite. As far as out like overshadowing her, I still think CJ Opiaz is the best performer. I'll say it with my chest. I think she's probably one of the best performers ever, like ever of all time.
true,
Like,
true.
ever, ever, ever. But I think Rachel definitely fit more of the prototype of the Miss Grand, I will say, in terms of like the facial beauty and the looks and all that type of stuff. She still performed really well, but I think the Q&A is when it was solidified for Rachel. At that point, it was anyone's crown, and I will say, when it came to performance, I think at least with a swimsuit, no one's beating CJ Obiaza, and that's across any pageant system, whether it's grand or otherwise. I don't know anyone who can outwalk. I think the only person I can think of that when they walk on stage, I get the same like goosebumps as I do with CJ Piazza is I Lok from Thailand. I don't know if you remember her, but she was at Miss Universe Thailand 2021 or 2022, and she's the only person who gives me goosebumps the way that CJ does. But when the Q&A came around, it was over. Rachel just spoke so well that yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was really a tough fight between the two girls, honestly.
Oh yeah, it could have gone either
Um,
way.
yeah, I felt like CJG just she gave her and poured out her heart on stage.
Oh,
Really,
yeah, and
yeah, she just
she
gave
outdid
everything.
everyone. I mean, she proved to everyone that she can speak. I think people's biggest critic
I
to her
know.
was that she can't, and I was like, I always the thing is I love CJ so much that when you love a queen so much, you just believe in their capabilities. So I was like, "No, she's gonna prove everyone wrong," and I feel like she did. Like, I really feel like she spoke really well at Miss Grand, so I'm very happy with her, and I can't wait to see her hopefully come back for Miss Universe Philippines.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see and let's wait. But I know right now CJ is just savoring the entire moment.
Yeah, as she
That
should.
she's just reaping everything that she worked hard for quite
Yes,
a long time. I
yes.
agree with you. I cried my heart out when she did not make it. Like she was just a display,
Yeah,
an ornament, Binibining Pilipinas in 20 was it
yeah.
2022, I think,
I think so,
and
yeah.
then she competed in 2023, and honestly, she did so well in
So well.
Miss Universe Philippines, and we were so happy and proud that she finally
Yeah.
made it for Miss Grand and ended up first runner up, one of the highest placements for the Philippines in MGI. I actually thought Uncle Nawat will give it to CJ already.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
wasn't
was
sure.
talking. Yeah, yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Oh, no. Yeah, I was saying I wasn't sure because he would make lives either about CJ Rachel, CJ Rachel. So I knew it was going to be one of those two. But with that being said, I also felt like the way it played out was very fair. Like, I feel like the rankings made so much sense to me. The placements made very much sense. And it was really at that point when it came to the top five. And especially at first, I was like, oh, France could take it maybe. But then after the Q&A, when she, when she was like, thank you, and then walked off, I was like, okay, so it's not going to be France. And at that point, I was like, it's anyone's game between CJ or Rachel. But the thing I love about CJ is immediately after they announce India, CJ just shakes her head in acceptance,
Yeah,
immediately hugs
yeah,
Rachel, and
yeah.
I just
Very, very.
fall in love with her all over again. I was like, this queen is just such an epitome of what every queen should be.
She was so happy. She
So
was so
happy.
happy. She was waving at people and giggling all over. She was
Yeah,
just so proud of herself, and she did so well.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm so happy, and we can't wait. She's coming home in the Philippines on I think December 6th or
Seven.
7th.
Yeah, I think the
She'll
seven.
be here. I
Yeah,
will try to find a way to be there.
yeah.
So I will have a shout out for CJ, for you
Oh
VJ.
yes, if you
I'll
do,
try my
please.
very best. I will message our few friends who are, I'm sure, already anticipating for her homecoming here in the Philippines. We are
Yeah.
so excited for her homecoming, and yeah, let's see if she can pull off another Miss Universe Philippines. Why not? She has really proven herself so well in this competition.
Yeah.
And we've been talking to her a few times before. Our only wish was for her to actually represent the Philippines, but now like
Yeah.
she's come so far
Oh
in the
yeah.
competition. VJ, they're asking if you can speak Tagalog. Can you try to speak a little?
Okay. Kinigagala ko makilala kayo. Kayo, ako po si VJ. Kumusta po kayo? Sa US ako. Kasama tito ko. Sa bahay ni Tito ko.
Oh, lagot
That,
na kayo. Ayan, because they're laughing right now and
uh,
they're saying kasi VJ you look so good. And
oh,
they're telling me that you should always be on my channel so that they can see you all the
oh,
time.
maraming
And then
salamat po.
they're trying to say you're trying to smile. They're thinking that maybe you can understand Tagalog. Yes. Mm-mm,
Oh,
he can
konti lang po.
understand.
Just a
Oh,
little.
yeah. Okay, sige. Good. John Lim says goodbye. He
Okay,
felt so
good.
ashamed. Okay, sige. So yeah, I was very very quick note to share. I was with Sofia Bianca Santos, the one who was holding hands with CJ Opieza in Miss Grand
Oh,
Philippines.
yeah, yeah. Very
Yeah, cause
beautiful.
I was with okay, I'll try to share to you the few photos I had with the queens a while ago. So yeah, I was with Sofia Bianca and Jasmine Bungay. There.
Yeah, yeah, 'cause I saw your story and I was like, "Oh my god,
Yeah,
that's the, she was the first runner up at Miss Grand Philippines, right?
yeah,
The
yes.
second princess at Miss
Yeah,
World?"
second world. Yeah, second princess, and then Sophia was telling me the conversations they had when they were holding hands was like she was telling CJ, Ate CJ, I hope you win. I hope that you get the crown for Miss
Oh,
Grand Philippines
wow. Wow.
because she's not yet ready to compete. Like go to Bangkok immediately and
Yeah.
uh,
Wow,
get
that's
through
very mature. Wow.
yeah get through whatever CJ went through, right? So yeah, I told Bianca that she's only 20 years old. My gosh, this girl
Oh,
can have a
she's
long.
a baby.
She's a
She's so young.
baby. Yeah, very long time pa when it comes to pageantry. I'm sure she
Yeah.
can mature even further. Ayan. Okay. Oh, I'm very happy with our Kapampangan queens. Our beauty queens from Pampanga are doing so well, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And Baguio too, you were there and oh my god, in Baguio, the queens are killing it every year.
Yeah, every year. Okay, now speaking of Baguio City, let's go to our third girl. And we're talking about Tarah Valencia or Justine
Wow.
Tarah Valencia from Baguio, who won eventually in Miss Universe Philippines. She was third. Sorry, she was third runner up. Yeah, she was
She's
third
in
runner
top
up.
5. I don't remember the
Yeah,
exact.
she was third runner up. Yeah, because Christy was fourth, Tara was third runner up, and eventually she took home the Supranational crown for 2025.
Yeah.
Okay, what are your thoughts about Tara's chances of winning in Supranational?
I know we keep saying it, but Super is also one of those pageants that I mean, I don't know. I thought like Pauline Emily was gonna win, for example, and then like just completely flipped. So it's one of those pageants that I also have a hard time predicting, but I think it is a little bit more. It's not as a va va voom as Miss Grand per se, but it's not. I would say it's a little bit between Universe and Grand in terms of what they're looking for. They're looking for a very model-esque, very fiery type of contestant, and I think they look more at physical appearance than maybe a few other competitions do. I think Miss Grand with their physical appearance, I don't think they're as stringent as Miss Grand with what kind of prototype they want, but I still think that they have a prototype, very model-esque beauty, very fiery beauty, very. I don't think they care as much if you're the strongest speaker. They just want you to be decent. I don't think you have to be like a Miss World level speaker,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
but you can't be like. But I think you can get away with a little bit of meh speaking. When it comes to, is it pronounced Tara or Thara? Thara, right? Is that
Yeah, it's Tara. Yeah.
Tara? Okay. When it comes to Tara, I I mean, another stunning her face. Facially, she is just I think everyone at least like 5 times at every event for Miss Universe Philippines was zoomed in on her face
Yeah, I
because
know.
she has such a beautiful face. So I think she definitely has the beauty for Miss Supranational, and she's quite tall too, I think, right? She's not a short queen from
She's
what
5'9", 5'9".
which I think is, like, on the taller
Oh,
side for beauty queens, yeah.
yes, yes.
So, I mean, she has the height as well, and I mention these things because although I don't like to pick apart physical appearance, I do think with Supra, it is a little bit more superficial,
True,
superficial, than
true.
other beauty pageant systems. So, I think in that department she'll do well. I do think that speaking-wise, she could have a little bit of improvement. She's not bad by any means. She has a really good baseline. I just think that a little bit more training, a little bit more media engagement. I would love to see her have more media engagement so she can really practice her public speaking skills and put them into practice. This is the time, right, before the competition, get her out in front of the media, get her speaking a little bit more. But again, I don't think Supranational lends itself to being a super speak heavy, Q&A heavy type of competition. So in that regard, I think she'll be okay. But we've seen queens that do perform really well at Supranational and they don't progress forward. I mean, I think when I think of queens like that, like First Wing from Thailand is one of the first queens I think of that had that very model-esque beauty, very good performance. And she still didn't progress forward in the competition. And then, Paulina Malinks made a first runner-up after giving a phenomenal Q&A, probably objectively the best Q&A of the night,
True.
but did
True.
not snatch the crown. And I think it's because Ecuador that year had the stereotypical beauty that they were looking for. I mean, she was a very gorgeous girl.
True.
I think she got away with maybe having a more um, baseline okay answer. So I think in that regard, it will lend well for Tara. She's also pretty young too, right? I don't think she's that old.
Tara is just 23, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's quite young still. So I think she'll do fine. Um, I know people have some commentaries about her physique. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think she looks fine. She looked fine at Miss Universe Philippines. And I think honestly, like people have to be very careful and mindful of what they say about the queens. Like
True. True.
because the thing is, like, are you trying to build your queen up or break their confidence down? So it's not, I always say it's not what you say, but how you say it. And I see so many comments. I think she made a recent appearance. I forget off the top of my head where it was, but there was a recent appearance with Tara that I saw people making so many different comments. I just feel like, um, you know, if people are watching this are one of those people commenting, just be mindful is all, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And
True.
a lot of us are who are beauty pageant fans are men, and we don't go through the same hormonal shifts. We don't go through the same
True.
that women go through. So please be mindful of that when you're commenting on these women's bodies because they go through a lot more than typically a average healthy male goes through. So
Agree. I have to agree. Yeah. I think Supranational is also like Miss World, where it's very hard to predict also who's gonna win, right? Yeah. Although, um, now that Supranational have improved on their pageant tremendously compared to
yeah,
previous years, wherein the girls were just being caught on cam very quickly. Now, like the modeling part, the pasarela are being given um emphasis already. I think that Tara can. I think that she's in the right pageant. I think
yeah,
she's in the right pageant in
I
Supranational.
agree.
That's what I can say right now. She's in the right pageant also because I think she is her speaking wise. It's not her forte
Hmm.
to begin with. Although I know I don't know if VJ knows, but I trained Tara before she was handed over to few people who are handling their candidates in Miss Universe Philippines, like the insights,
Oh,
their
oh, okay.
trainers there in
Hmm.
Q&A. So when Tara was eventually starting during her MUPH journey, I was the first one who was handling her
Hmm.
along other trainers like Tita Lavinia and one more from the inside camp of Baguio City. So
Okay.
that has been close to my heart. She's one of my
Yeah.
sentimental favorites, she hasn't changed, like still the bubbly girl and all, and the very sweet girl. So I think she's in the right pageant, and I hope that she's training also for the Q&A because one thing about Supernational's Q&A is it comes very quickly. Remember
Yeah.
the
Oh
Q&A
my God.
pulling,
Yes.
remember the
Very
Q&A
quick.
of pulling ambulance? They were just passing on the microphone to each other, and they
Yeah.
were like giving like was it 20, 25 seconds?
Every time, I mean, I know like when I look at our girls from India and I'm watching, and again, India lends itself to really strong speakers, and so were the girls who went on to compete at Supranational, and even they get cut off. Thankfully, Paulina Mullings is so witty that she was able
Yeah,
to
she
like
was so witty.
quick with it.
She's so quick.
Yeah, like a lot of, but this think it's probably the quickest Q&A I've seen. But I
I
do
know.
agree with what
I
you're
know.
saying in terms of I
Yeah.
think out of the three girls that we talked about, I think Tara is the most in like she fits super really well.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I see it for her. before she like entered it, and I see it even more so now that she is Miss Supra Philippines.
Yeah, I think her beauty can stand out in the. I mean, amongst the sea of the girls there. I'm sure
Yeah.
of that. When it comes to body, I have to agree with VJ. We always have to be very careful. I was reminded, my cousin who is a DJ on the radio. I was listening to him on my way to work today, and then he was reminding everyone, all of his listeners, to be very careful because family reunions are happening on holidays, right?
Mm,
And he was telling everyone, do not ask or give a comment about people's body,
yeah.
whether oh you look thinner now or you look fatter now. I think like it's a big no-no, especially that everybody is body shaming should not be invited by anyone by all means. And I think that we also have to be very careful when giving commentary, especially to our beauty queens. You don't know, have to agree with VJ, what hormonal thing or medical condition these girls are actually going through each month with their
Yeah.
monthly menstruation and all of that. So it's going to be very difficult for them. Tara is beautiful. I think that she's going to prepare herself maybe after the holidays. I don't know, she still have time to prepare. Let's be very
Yeah.
careful with the girls on judging them just basically, you don't know, maybe it's just the angle of the camera that's that's when it's
Yeah,
being
or maybe
taken,
she's
right?
just comfortable in her body as it is, you know, like even if it's not like an angle, even if that's just what how she looks, if she's happy with it, that's what matters the most because life is beyond just pageants. And I think that a lot of us have to remember that they have lives outside of just pageantry. So, you know, we have to be mindful of these things too. And especially like, you know, we're both Asian, me Indian and you Filipino. And you know, in Asian culture, a lot of times those comments, as you said, those passive comments of oh, you've lost weight, you've gained weight. They're very easily slipped by a lot of, in our language, we just call them
True.
aunties. So a lot of
True.
the aunties or titas, you know, they like to make our titos or uncles make those little passive comments. So, you know, yeah, just being mindful. I think she looks beautiful. I think you're right. Facially, she's gonna stand out amongst many queens. And I don't even know all the queens in Supra, but I can already confidently say that eyes are going to be on Tara when she shows up to the competition. There was during Miss Universe Philippines, I think people had their eyes on her because she's facially. I mean, she was probably the face of the competition at Miss Universe Philippines last edition.
Yeah, she was. She was
Yeah,
really the face of the competition. I have to agree.
yeah,
That's the reason why I messaged Tara when I eventually saw her during the press conference. I said, "Oh my gosh, we have to watch out for this girl. She's beautiful. She's a human Barbie doll in person."
yeah,
Yeah, and even before she was being bashed for looking a little bigger on screen. But honestly, guys, if you see Tara in person, she is so thin and very fit. Honestly,
yeah.
they look double on screen
No,
on
they
photos,
do because
but when
I've
you see
seen
them in
Rabia
person,
Mateo in person as well. And a lot of people were like, Rabia Mateo gained so much weight, but I saw her in Houston, Texas. She came to Houston after the competition, after Miss Universe, and she was very thin. And I was like, the camera, I don't know what it did, but it definitely made her appearance different because people were saying like she's had augmentation, this, that, and this, and the third. And I'm like, if you see her in person, it does not look like whatever the camera is displaying. So yeah, like what we see on camera definitely is not the same as what the judges are seeing in real life. And again, even if it is, like it's just unnecessary to comment on. It's fine. She's stunning. She's really beautiful no matter what size she is.
yeah, yeah. Let's read Sir Ronsan from Australia who commented here. Tara is very pretty, but my main worry is her speaking ability to tackle her Q&A. She needs to be calm and not be bothered under pressure when speaking. Yeah, we're hoping that Tara is preparing for that. I'm sure that she's being handled by good team under the Miss Philippines for her to be prepared for the competition. And I think the girls already by this time, VJ, I think they already know their Waterloo, right?
Yeah,
So I think they really know where to focus. So
I think
I
they're
mean,
self-aware.
having yeah, self-aware, having the face of Tara, I don't think she needs to focus on her face and how to look pretty. I think it's in it for her. So yeah, I think that the team should also be focused on the Q&A. I have to agree with that. You know, VJ, they're all very mesmerized by your face. They cannot
Oh,
focus. Everyone's saying here, introduce himself and where he's from. Hi, Costin. We already introduced VJ. He's half Indian with a mix of Italian and American, and he is from India. But now he stays in the US. So, yeah, later on, we will ask him to promote his YouTube page. Ayan. So you know how to follow him, and you can subscribe also and check out his Instagram. Ayan. John Lim says, "You're very cute every time you speak straight in English." And they're telling that they're having nosebleed already, VJ.
oh, nosebleed ako rin when I heard Tagalog. When I was in the Philippines, I was at Mang Inasal. The cashier couldn't understand me, and I couldn't understand her. So I was like, "Oh, gusto kong isa inasal." And then I was like, and then she started laughing. I'm like, "Oh, sorry po, nosebleed ako." And so,
Oh, ayan, John Lim ha. At Costin, he eats in Mang Inasal. Oh, you know where to date, ano na, VJ. They're
uh,
asking, VJ, are you single?
yes, I
Oh,
am
yes
single.
daw. Very big yes. Oh, very, very single si VJ. Okay. I think we're done with Tara. Oh, no, we haven't, ano pala, we haven't had what's our fearless forecast for Tara Valencia?
Oh man, with Supra. See, the thing is, I think she fits the most out of all the Philippines queens thus far to the Supra prototype. So I can see her. Where does the Q&A begin? Is it top five or top 10 for
I
Supra?
think top 10 they already. Yeah, I remember Alethea already had a Q&A in the top 10, I think. Yeah.
So for now, I'll say top 10. Only because again, Supra is so quick with the Q&A, and a lot of times with speaking being her not her forte thus far. But this time, hopefully she's improving on that. I'm sure she's doing a great job. And if she comes across this, you got it. Don't fret. And I'm just a random person, so you're gonna do amazing. Like,
Yeah, yeah, true. Yeah, if Tara's gonna watch this, I'm gonna tag her and tell her to fast forward with 50 minutes after. If you're watching this, Tara, you got our support. We're hoping for
yes,
the second crown for the Philippines, you know?
yes.
I remember it was a back to back from India and the Philippines that time when
Mhm.
Mutya Datul was crowned by an Indian, or Mutya, I think, crowned an Indian queen for Supranational, if I'm not mistaken. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we only have our first Supranational with Mutya Datul in 2013. That's like 10 years ago or 11 years ago. And it's also one of the elusive gram. Hopefully that Tara can clinch that. But given amount of time, Tara can actually go back to Miss Universe Philippines.
Oh yeah, yeah. She can go to a lot of. Again, she's a very well-rounded queen, so she can go to a lot of different systems.
Mm-mm.
But yes,
Yeah.
definitely Miss Universe will lend itself well for her.
Mm-mm. VJ, before we proceed to our last girl, they're asking if you're open to participate in a pageant.
Oh, me? Oh, let's see. Let me. I just graduated nursing school, so
Wow,
yeah,
brainy.
yeah.
BTM brain.
Let me get into my nursing career a little first, and then I'll and into the gym a little bit more. Although again, beautiful in anybody, so we'll see where life takes.
Oh, no, VJ is very hot if you see his Instagram. How
Uh,
old are you, VJ?
I'm 26. I turned 27 in February.
They're
So
asking if
soon.
you have Twitter account.
Oh, no.
You're being put on a spot with our subscribers. And Sir Ronson says, VJ Namaste and Bonacera.
Buonasera. Oh, I don't. Namaste. Yeah, guys. I'm familiar with my Indian side more. My grandparents, my Lolo and Lola raised me. They're from India, so I don't know my Italian side too much. So if you speak Italian to me, I'm gonna be no comprendo.
No comprendo. Ayan, Idnax says, top 10 interview portion, top 5 or top 3 for Q&A. Yeah, so I have to agree with VJ. I think Fearless Forecast for Tara so far yet in the competition, at least top 10. And that's going to be at least far in the competition. She could go that far. But hopefully we're praying that Tara is preparing for the Q&A. I'm sure she's going to um, prepare for that. And she has maybe 6 more months before the competition
There's
sets
so
in.
much time. So
Mm-mm.
much
Yeah,
time.
so much time. Okay. Now we've come to the last girl who actually, by the way, was one of the strongest in Miss Universe Philippines during her time. We all thought she's gonna make history, but another black beauty queen with the name Chelsea Manalo came in prepared and snatched the Miss Universe Philippines crown. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, Alexi Brooks from Iloilo City ended up as Miss Eco International Philippines for 2025. Okay, what do you think about Eco International and Alexi Brooks' chances of getting the crown?
Yeah, so I had to do some research on Miss Eco International yesterday and this morning over some
Mm.
coffee because I really was not too familiar with it, to be honest. Probably the least familiar out of all these pageant systems. So I just looked at the competition, kind of fast forward through it, get an idea of what they're looking for. And I really was remember looking at the competition thinking Alexi Brooks will lend itself really well in terms of the aura that they're looking for. It seems that they're really open to a more Vava Voom type of aura, very fierce. And Alexi has that really cool versatility about her where she can play both to her more maybe tomboyish side and also to her femininity. And so I really love that like that complexity to her. I think she'll lend herself really well to Miss Eco, especially when it's the gowns that they wore. Alexi likes to wear a little bit more risky gowns, I would say, and she looks really good in them. I mean, she was a track star, right? I think so, one of like the Philippines' top like women track and field stars. So I think Alexi will do incredible. And I mean, the physique on them is just insane. So wearing those gowns are going to look even better. When I saw Chantel's gown at the Miss Eco International, I was like, oh, I could definitely see Alexi in something similar to this, and the other girls that were competing as well. So I could see her on this stage, and I think out of all the girls we talked about, maybe I'm the most confident in her being able to snatch the Miss Eco crown. I think she lends herself really well, and I think it will be. It's I think it could be a stepping stone for her to go out into the pageant field again, and then come back for Universe should she feel that it's a fit for her.
Yeah, agree. Yeah, Eco International also is a pageant that I am not very much familiar with, but since Chantal Schmidt competed last year or this year rather and ended up a first runner up, Alexi is following a very huge feat in the competition, knowing that you can only go higher, one
Yeah.
spot higher, and that's getting the Eco International crown. I am not sure if we've ever won in that pageant. Please let me know in the comment section if we ever did win Miss Eco International. But all I can say is that with Alexi Brooks' speaking ability, and she has a very unique pasarela. Alexi has a
Mhm.
very
Yeah.
powerful walk that you can easily Kathleen Payton won in
Oh
2022.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Also a
okay.
beautiful queen. Also a very
Very
beautiful.
beautiful queen. Um so yeah, they're looking for really gorgeous faces, I think, in the competition. Alexi is very beautiful. I'm not sure if Eco International did ever crown a girl of a woman of color, but nonetheless, hopefully, Alexi
Yeah.
could be the first one to get that, right?
That was a note that I did notice, them being in Egypt, and I think that
Yeah,
tradition
right.
mostly lending itself towards like Arab, Middle Eastern type of beauty.
Yes.
Chantal and Kathleen definitely lend themselves well towards that type of standards. And Indians and Middle Easterners, our culture and our beauty standards are quite similar, I would say. So I am familiar with what I
The
think they,
type, yeah.
yeah, the
Type of
prototype.
beauty.
Um, so maybe that's a little bit of a concern, but if that's the case and they show if Alexi does well and she shows and proves herself that she should move forward and they don't move her forward, then I mean it will just really show on their end. She has a unique walk though, you're correct. She has a very unique walk and I think it will fit well for Eco International. Um, I can also see her at pageant system like grand to be honest as well. She's a very grand surprisingly in a lot of ways, which I wasn't expecting. But when I saw her perform on stage, I was like, wow, she's a performer. And that's a compliment. It's not like a putting her in a box. I think Miss Grand International Queens have some of the best walks, so it's definitely a compliment. But I can see her based off of besides like maybe the phenotypical appearance or whatever. Um, I can see her placing high in terms of just the vibe and the aura that they tend to lean towards based off of my research.
Yeah, I agree with all of what you've said. Hopefully, knowing Alexia and how competitive she could be in the competition, I'm sure that Alexi will do her very best to get the second crown for the Philippines for Inco International. And I have to agree with this comment since that the pageant is not yet booming on social media, and knowing that Alexi has a huge social media following, I think they could crown Alexi on that aspect for that so that the pageant could be known globally already. Ayan. Oo.
Yeah,
Ayan. Um, what are your thoughts if Rachel Gupta competes in Miss Universe after her reign, just like Antonia Purcell, who competed in Super Crossover to Universe? Rachel's face card was to die for, Custin said. Well, I've been mentioning this during the Miss Grand pageant season that I see Rachel Gupta actually as a Miss Universe caliber. I've been
me
mentioning that
too. Me too.
very, very many times, and I said that
Yeah,
I was telling them that I think I'm not sure if Rachel could actually or is fitted for Miss Grand International because I see Miss Universe caliber, and I've been
she's
mentioning
great
this.
Miss Universe. I agree.
Yeah, if
I
she
feel the
doesn't
same
win
way.
Miss Universe, if she doesn't win Miss Grand, she could go in Miss Universe, and she could go big in Miss
Yeah,
Universe.
I
Yeah,
agree. I thought honestly she could get us our, if not Miss Grand, I was like she could definitely get us our next crown for Miss Universe. She's very impressive.
yeah. But well, I honestly, well, comparing to Harnaz has an enigmatic magic in there. She
I love
was she
Anna.
was some, she was something. She was really something.
Yeah,
Um, she was far from Sushmita and
a lot of
Lara
hmm
Lara Dutta, but Harnaz has this Pia magic, Pia words back magic when she
yeah,
comes.
and she endured a lot. Jeez, and that's kind of why I'm also very. I think let's be mindful what we say because after having to witness like after 20 years, India won, and then she's also so young as well, and she got diagnosed with celiacs and had to move to a new country, living in New
Yeah,
York, new food and
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Yeah, just not pretty. So I'm like,
I saw Harnaz in Miss Cosmo. I went to Vietnam and I saw her face to
oh yeah,
face. We have a photo together on the red carpet. Guys, she is gorgeous.
oh yeah, very
Really, really
beautiful.
beautiful.
And she's
Face
also
card.
from the same region as me and Rachel Gupta. We're all from the same
Wow.
region of India. So it was also another very proud moment to have a, we're called Punjabi. So it was a really proud moment to have a Punjabi queen from India win. I was like, wow, Punjabis are doing really good, I guess. Like, that's really good.
Oh, guys, you know where to find your soulmate. Go to VJ's place. I
Uh,
think they houses. Your place is like Barranquilla in Colombia, where
oh,
Shakira, Sofia Vergara, and
oh,
even
yeah.
Paulina Vega came from. My gosh, oh,
Hmm.
so many good-looking people on your area. I have to ask you. I have to take this opportunity. What is that statement where Harnaz was shouting when she won?
Chuck de Farte, like
Yeah,
Chuck
what?
de Farte,
Yeah,
yeah, Chuck de Farte. It's kind of like Chuck de Farte is like a very like how do you say it in English? I don't even know how you would translate it over. Nosebleed of gold. Maybe I would say something like throw it up or like let's go or like come on or this one is for a lot of times we'll say before like a dance performance like Chuck de Farte or like before you take a shot, for example, I guess like
Chakte,
yeah,
Chakte,
Chuck de Farte, like Chuck de Farte, like
Chak de
throw it up.
Fakte.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, Chuck
oh,
de Farte.
Fakte. Ayan. I've been listening to how Harnaz was mentioning that. I even think that Rachel Gupta shouted out that when she won, Chak de
Yeah, Chakde
Fakte.
Fakde. Yeah, it's a very Punjabi, from my region, it's a very thing that we'll say in moments of celebration or happiness, like Chakde Fakde, like, so very Punjabi. Yeah.
Thank you very much for sharing that.
Yeah.
Finally, somebody has said that to me and what it really.
Yeah, yeah.
Ayan, oo. Okay. Actually, guys, who is VJ's hot picks for MUPH 2025? Guys, we will be having a separate video about our wish lists for MUPH on his page. Okay, guys. On his page, we will be talking about that. So you will follow VJ. After a short while, we will be promoting his page. And Albert TV says, "Good morning, Doc Z, and to your guest, VJ." Ayan. Um, okay. It was a close fight really between Nadia Ferreira and Harnaz Sandhu.
Yeah, very close, very
But Harnaz killed it during the Q&A. She was like by far
yeah,
miles away from Nadia. Like the substance and the depth of the answer was way beyond what Nadia could offer during that time. So I
yeah.
knew
But
then,
still, Nadia is a very beautiful woman, very
oh my
appreciated,
gosh, very,
gorgeous,
very
gorgeous
beautiful.
face.
She
I think,
was like
yeah,
the beach of the competition,
yeah,
that beautiful
yeah.
face,
It's like
really.
Tamron Green. Like, if not for Catriona, Tamron Green would have went away with the crown. Like, if not
I
for
know. I know.
Nadia, would have went away with the crown.
True, true. Very, very good thinking. Ayan. We have a very beautiful time talking about our queens. But yeah, I have to agree. I think we have a strong batch for to look forward to
Yeah,
for the year 2025 for the Philippines. Of course, we're waiting for Miss Earth Philippines. We have yet to expect for Miss Universe Philippines. By the way, they're starting the journey already in the
yeah,
the
already.
provincials. The
Yeah,
provincials, we will have a separate video and we'll talk about the girls. Of course, Ileana Aduana, she was not part of the Miss Universe Philippines Laguna.
yeah,
Everyone was waiting for Ileana to compete for Miss Universe Philippines for this year. We'll be having a separate video about that. Also, Cheryl Velez also will be talking about them. I have a separate video that I'll be preparing for you guys for the upcoming Provincial Queens in Miss Universe Philippines. The search is on already
yeah,
for the Miss Universe Philippines. But of course, let's continue supporting our queens. We have Krishna Gravidez who's competing on February for Miss World in Paris, France. We have Tarah Valencia for Supranational in June in Poland. And of course, Eco International also, I think sometime in June or July for Alexi Brooks. And one of the biggest competition happening with Mira Esguerra. I'm so excited for Mira. I can feel she can bring home the seventh Miss International crown for the Philippines in November in Tokyo. Ayan. John Lim says, we have a beautiful tandem, a doctor and a nurse. And
uh,
then John Lim is our patient.
oh,
Ayan, oo. Custin, we've already talked about the transgender who's competing in Pampanga right now. But yeah, VJ, what can you say? Is transgender already allowed in India?
yeah, yeah. We've had a competitor who identifies as a trans woman at Miss Universe
Oh,
India.
really?
I actually know her, and I've had
Mm,
chats with her. She actually might do a collaboration together, talk a little bit about
okay.
her stint. She's amazing, and she didn't place in the final cut, I don't think, during the finales, but nonetheless, we have had. I think she was the first. I think, if I'm not mistaken, she was the first trans contestant.
Wow.
Yeah, not winner, contestant.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, for the Philippines, I am not yet sure if I really don't know the stand yet of Pampanga, my province right now,
Hmm.
on how they will be handling this. Although we've already seen an interview from Shamsi, who is part of the MUPH organization, that they cannot fulfill the criteria that the organization is asking for, like a female candidate, whether trans woman, on the passport. So since it's not yet,
Oh,
yeah, since it's not yet being like
recognized. Uh-huh.
accepted legally here in the country, so I don't think they could allow that to happen. So although they support trans women, I'm not yet sure. Let's wait for the final turnout of events. But so far, I think the trans woman candidate, I'm not sure about her name, Kelsey Trajano. Correct me if I'm not mistake, if I'm wrong, guys. Ha, but she's already competing. I've seen her walking in some of the events already. So yeah, let's see.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
see. But nonetheless, she's beautiful. She's equally stunning like anyone else, and I think she deserves the credit. But let's see. I think of course we're bounded by rules in the pageant, so let's see if she's gonna be the first one from the Philippines or from Pampanga as well. Ayan. Of course, we would want to invite VJ to our subscribers. Where can they find you? Where can they support you? I think, and we're hoping VJ, this is not the last time you're gonna guest on our small YouTube channel.
Yes, of course. Yeah, you guys can find. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. It was a great
Thank you.
time.
Thank you.
I enjoyed it very much. I also hope it's not my last time here.
Of course, of
Um,
course.
yes, and yeah, you guys can find me at just like my name says right here. I think at least for me, it's Vijay Reina. Just the name is together though, no space, and it's the same on Instagram. It's the same on YouTube, and it's also the same on TikTok. So my TikTok is a little haphazard. Don't go there. It's not vetted for just pageantry yet, but soon I'll make it more towards geared towards my pageant analyst stuff. But Instagram and YouTube are both Vijay Reina.
Yeah. Imagine it's 6 or 7 in the morning there, VJ, right?
It's now 8:28, but when we started, it was about 6 a.m., 7 a.m. when we started. 7
Diba? It's 7 in the morning, but look how good looking VJ is.
a.m. Salamat po.
Oh, so it must be there must be really something in the water in India.
Uh,
Ayan, guys, don't forget to follow our good friend VJ Reina. Follow him on Instagram, TikTok, and also on YouTube. Just type in VJ Reina with no space, and you can talk to him personally. Just be slow, okay. When it comes to asking other things, just ask him on pageantry.
yeah, and I,
Ayan.
and I do respond. I do respond. Just
Yeah.
I am
Oh,
in the US though, so I'm 12 hours behind you guys. So if I don't
thank you
respond,
very much,
yeah.
VJ. Thank you
Oh
very
no,
much.
yeah. Thank you
Yeah,
for.
this was supposed to happen 2 3 days ago, although
Yeah, I
time difference
overslept a little
happened.
bit. Unfortunately, I woke up like, oh, it's 7:20. Like I'm late. I'm late.
It's fine, VJ. But at least you did so well today, and we enjoyed the time
Yeah, it
together.
was really
Hopefully,
enjoyable.
yeah, again, not our last time of guesting you here. I'm sure our subscribers will be very happy to see a beautiful face
Oh,
gracing our screens. Of course, we have our friend here, Michael De La Cruz. Hello, Michael is from Phoenix, Arizona.
oh,
Ayan.
nice. I have a lot of family in Phoenix, Arizona, actually. So,
Yeah. Sige. Okay. Ron San says, I have nothing against transgender, but call me old fashioned. I hope they will stick to joining MIQ and that's it. Because how can they relate to the Q or the essence of a woman? The question, the essence of a woman. Oh, yeah. Sushmita Sen, diba? What is the essence of being
mm,
a woman? Very beautiful. I've been, talking about that question, I've been trying to repeat it multiple times. Colombia and India had a tough and tight competition that time.
yeah,
Very,
yeah,
very tough competition. It
but
was
they
a
did
destiny
so
for
well.
Sushmit, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really was. And Shashmita speaks so highly even to this day about Miss Colombia from that year. So,
Yeah, she was so good. She was so
yeah,
good.
yeah, I think they had a really good relationship. I love that. I love when I see girls, and that's why I like to
True.
bring in media.
Sisterhood, right?
Yeah,
Sisterhood.
yeah,
Mm-mm.
sisterhood is something that needs to be brought back into pageantry for sure.
Yeah, speaking of sisterhood, we're so happy that Ariadna and Tia are like good sisters now, right?
Yeah, that was a very
After the
unfortunate.
controversial coronation.
Yeah, and PS since such a queen, I think it just showed more of her queenliness in the way she handled the entire thing and how she speaks about it even to this day. So empathetic, so like understanding, so sensitive about the matter and the topic. And I think that honestly just makes so many people, Filipino or otherwise, like love Pia. She's so revered, and so respected across like the entire like international community.
Yeah. Speaking of Pia Words Back, I am so proud to announce that tonight, 6 p.m., I'm gonna be with Pia Words Back on the Love Gala charity event. So I will not promise, but I'll try my best, VJ, to have a shout out from Pia
Oh
tonight.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
it's a very exciting event. Like the memorabilia and the valuable sash, the crown, the Q&A notebook of Pia will be auctioned, all for a
That's
charitable
awesome.
cause for Love Yourself for HIV and AIDS. So yeah, very exciting. I think I'll
Been
be
such
meeting
a
them.
warrior with it. She's been so good at being consistent with her advocacy, and also like you. Shout out to you as well for all that you do. I mean, I have
Thank you.
I have a relative who lives with AIDS and has like children and everything, and it's not an easy condition, and there's a lot of stigma surrounding it.
True,
So
true,
we
true.
definitely need, especially in just all over the world. So we definitely need people like yourself and like Pia to raise awareness, funds, and support for
True.
those individuals.
Yeah, we're praying for everyone who's affected with it and who has it. But yeah, our goal is to increase awareness so that people cannot acquire the disease because no one is safe from it. It's just like any other viruses. But yeah, be very vigilant. Also, be self-aware. Love yourself. Yeah, it means a lot. That statement. Love yourself. Protect yourself, of course, and increase awareness by sharing your loved ones to help them know and get tested and know their status. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very timely because it's December. It's December 1 was the World AIDS Day. So
Mm.
I'm very excited tomorrow to see Pia where it's back. It's my third time, I think, to see her. The first one was when I watched The Wicked back in 2017.
Oh.
2018, I flew with Catriona to watch her competition. And then I saw Pia at the airport going back to the
Oh
Philippines.
wow.
Yeah, we had a photo together. I
Nice.
saved it so I could show it to her tomorrow, and I'm very excited. As you know, my fan heart is very much alive today, and will be very much alive for tomorrow. I am.
Yes, yes, I'm jealous. I wish I was in the Philippines. It's probably my favorite country I visited, and I want to go back so bad. And when I
Come,
hear
come,
these
come, come
things,
here and visit us
yeah,
again,
I'll
VJ.
have to.
You have a friend here. You have a family with me. Ayan, I'll tour you
Oh,
around.
someone post. Same. Come to the U.S. anytime. You're
Yeah,
welcome. Just
next
have
year
a
I'll
little
see you.
staycation. Yes,
Ayan. Thank you very much, VJ. Again, don't forget to
yes.
subscribe to VJ Reina. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to Dr. Zed, the Pageant Dapper. If you're new to this channel, you can click the bell button to get notified because anytime we always go on live, anytime, anywhere, if I have time. And we'll talk about pageantry. You can follow me also on other social media platforms on Instagram and TikTok. It's Dr. Z underscore Pageant Dapper. You can also follow me on my Facebook fan page. It's Dr. Z. And like VJ, you can also message me on my personal Instagram. It's Dr. Z. But let's talk about pageantry only, okay?
Yeah.
Ayan, I hope you guys had a lot of fun sa mga team replay natin. Don't forget to like this video by clicking the thumbs up button. And you can also leave on the comment section on what do you guys think about Mirna, Tara, Alexi, and Krishna as they compete internationally next year in 2025. Ayan. We'll see more of you guys very, very soon. And thank you very much, guys. Always be kind, avoid negative people, and remove toxicity in your life. Okay? Thank you very much, guys. I'll see you again sometime again. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Yay.